Okay, so we're speaking with Erez Nevi Pana, a designer today. So thank you for joining me, Erez.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So I want to start with the body of research that you're doing into vegan design.
Mm-hmm.
What is vegan design?
Vegan design, as it sounds, just like your food, something, an object, or also processes in the design field that are not including any animals, ingredients inside of them, or animal labor. Yes,
But
very
how?
simple.
I mean, I understand it in the abstract,
Mm-hmm.
but practically speaking, like how unvegan is design?
Yeah, I started with a wooden chair, actually, questioning a wooden chair because, yeah, we're sitting now on wooden chairs. And do you think it's vegan or not?
I mean, it looks pretty natural,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, but also leather is natural,
Yeah. But so,
and
I
also
mean,
silk is natural. The question is it vegan or not?
but so then this chair, this wooden chair, I would say it. I mean,
Most likely, people will think that it's vegan,
yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But actually, it's not vegan. Because the sanding paper that we're using is not vegan, the glue is not vegan, the coating on top of it is not vegan. The wood, okay, maybe it's vegan, but like beside that, in the process of making this chair, most of the elements weren't vegan. So just by questioning the whole elements that also in the production process of a designed object, you can understand that there are animal ingredients assimilated inside that we don't acknowledge just by looking on something.
But so what? I mean, glue feels like it might
Bones,
comes from bones.
yeah,
Okay,
it's a binder material.
and like the finishings as well. Is this from?
Also, in every single product, if you go into it and really read the little letters, you can find something. I don't know exactly what kind of coating did they put on top of it, but like
Sure.
most of them are, yeah, are non-vegan. So
Okay,
this,
and I mean, but it's interesting how you say it's not just about the materials that are used, but it's also about the processes that
exactly.
make this. So how does unveganism, take place in processes? You talk about animal labor. So then what is that labor?
Yes, 2 days ago I was giving a lecture in, I think I was giving two lectures, one in Austria and one in Slovakia. I don't remember where was it, but someone was under the same title as I came for, like Vegan Minds, and she was speaking about her bags that she's producing from leftover of coconuts. And yeah, so after a while, when someone asked me, okay, so what do you think about our work? So I just a simple question like, who's collecting these coconuts? And we know that not so many humans are climbing so high to collect coconuts. There is labor from monkeys to collect these coconuts. So if monkeys are collecting the coconuts, for me, the bags are non-vegan.
But I mean, bees also pollinate plants.
Yes, but this is their food. Hmm.
But so then is
If you're like using the honey of the bees, of course, this is their food. It's not something that we should use. As a vegan, I'm not using honey. Like I had a object, like a series of objects that I used to mix honey inside of them before I was vegan, and now I'm not producing this project anymore. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm curious how you kind of understand animal labor. So, like honey is very different than pollination, of course. I mean, they're related, but it's like, one comes out the front, one comes out the back.
Yes,
Right.
but how do they produce this honey? By what? By breathing or by?
Well, by pollinating.
Oh,
Right?
exactly.
But so then that means that it's not labor? Like if they need to do it to...
It really depends. If these bees are free and are in nature and they are not controlled by any beekeeper, this is vegan. Of course, this is a natural process. But if they are being controlled by a beekeeper, okay, this is not natural because their wings are being cut of the queen, and after a while they are killing the queen. So yes, now I'm producing a new project where I'm using bees. Yes, I'm planting many different kind of flowers just to attract them to get the result that I want. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's curious for me. I mean, maybe in design discourse or this is more common, but to think, I mean, vegan is a word that comes from our consumption habits of food, right? But to have this apply to design implies a more social vision, right? And so I wonder, like, what is this kind of, what is the coexistence between like humans and animals? Like, what is this kind of utopia that is behind this project?
But also food is social, not only design, right?
Sure.
So if we started, you're saying that it's coming from the food culture, and then we're moving to the design culture, and design is social, also food is social, so it's the same, just the same. And about coexistence, I don't have a real answer for something like this because we live in cities, you know. It will be a bit hypocritical to say coexistence when I'm living in big cities most of my life. But one thing that I can assure is that my consumption in my daily life is I'm walking with a lot of awareness and thoughts about every single thing that I'm doing, and the holistic approach, which is something that is really directing me through my paths, is like, being vegan is not only about the food, it's also about what I wear, it's also about the design that I produce. And I can be vegan and be ethical at home and cruel at work, or the opposite. If people are saying, okay, we are producing vegan design, but they are not vegan, so what's the essence? You know, you can be cruel at home, but ethical at work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, but I mean, it's curious how you say that, you know, the city is, that it's difficult to speak about coexistence within cities.
Yes, because there is no coexistence. Do you see any animals around? Yesterday I was sitting in a restaurant around here, and some bird entered, and all the restaurant, almost all the people sitting there were so shocked. A bird entered to the restaurant. Yeah, there is no coexistence over here. But the cities, the people that live in the cities, they have the biggest footprint on this planet. And if you live in a city, you can definitely consume vegan products in the closest supermarket. So you have way more power than people that live in a village in Ethiopia, you know, to bring a real effect on this planet. And as two scientists from Oxford University just they brought their research out, and they said once you're adopting a vegan diet, you reduce your footprint on the planet in 73%. So it's huge, just by changing your diet. So easy, you know, so why not? And on top of it, if you're gonna wear vegan clothing, or even better, if you're gonna use second-hand clothing, or start, if you're a designer, start designing in your studio vegan products, then I'm sure the percentage will go closer to...
Yeah, to 100.
Yes.
But I mean, this. Do you think that cities could become a place of more vegan coexistence, where it's not just like what how we as humans in the city live and what clothes we wear, what food we eat. But I'm curious, like, what would it mean to make this a space of greater coexistence?
With animals, or what?
Sure.
With nature, or with what? Be specific about this,
I
because
mean,
like
what would it mean to make like a vegan city, right?
This is an interesting one. A vegan city. Yeah, I'm sure that there will balance between the human inhabitant of the city and the animals, because how many people are in the world? 7 billion?
7 billion, yeah.
Yes. So, and we're growing, still growing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about balance at the end of the day, between numbers, okay, and people that live today here and are adopting this kind of lifestyle, the vegan lifestyle. They are helping the next generations to live in a proper world the way we are living today, without thinking about we think about the air we breathe, but not as much as we should, or as much as they will have to, or water level that are increasing, or fires that are going to come, like so many crazy things that are about to come just because of the way we live. And think about 7 billion people that are adopting a vegan lifestyle and reducing their footprint in 73%. We will heal this world, very quickly. So there is no time to waste or think. Sometimes I hear people saying, I need some time to think about it, to adjust, but this world, this planet doesn't have time. These animals that are being slaughtered at these seconds, they don't have time,
Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting how, it's maybe more clear how to pick up a vegan like food diet,
yes,
than it is a vegan design methodology.
Of course, this is something that I'm also learning every single day. That's why I'm barely producing, barely. Like, you don't see so many objects coming out from my studio, because the research is long, and let's say I try to create my own vegan glue, and I was really happy that I managed. But 2 weeks later, the chair just fell apart. And this is how the salt series came about, because I thought, okay, then I can use the salt as a binder, because the salt starts to crystallize around the object. And it becomes like a second skin that holds the whole object together. Yes, so...
But I mean, I think that's quite indicative that this salt chair is looking more towards geological processes, right? It's looking more towards rocks. It's looking more towards kind of inorganic materials. I mean, even though you might be able to argue that salt is organic, but let's say inanimate materials. And so, I wonder, like, is a world of vegan design one that is fully made out of like metal and plastic and stone and...
Plastic is not vegan also.
No?
Most of them are not. And also the vegan, at least for me, the vegan approach shouldn't be directed only to animals. It's more an holistic one. Okay, so yes, if I'm consuming, I'm not consuming any animals, but then I live with so much plastic around me, or I'm going to buy new clothes every other day, or it's not something that will go together. When you're turning vegan, you're increasing awareness, and you're more aware of every single thing around you. You become way more sensitive towards humans, animals, trees, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just curious, like, because there is such like an incredible destruction of the landscape.
Yes.
Right? Even though it might not include any animals.
So let's reuse materials. There are so many craps around. Also, the chairs that I'm exhibiting here, I collected scraps from carpenter workshops, or aluminum from a guy that collects metals around the city, and I reuse them. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean these chairs, these salt chairs. Do
There are
you?
chairs, there are tables, there are totems. The function is not, it's not something that really leads the process. It's more a conceptual object that
So they can't be used.
they can be used, of
Can they be
course.
sat on?
Yes, Maria Cristina Didera was sitting on my soul chair. You can ask her. She will be here in 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And yeah, that's. I mean, it's a very different texture than one
It is different, but maybe people need to sit on an uncomfortable chair to realize
Yeah, exactly.
how comfort their life is and how uncomfortable other lives are.
Yeah. Yeah, but so I wonder then, is this kind of strategy of, because it's aesthetically, it's visually beautiful, but yeah, ergonomically, it's a bit different. So I wonder, is this kind of a useful strategy to you?
I look at this, I don't think about these aspects. It's more about, beauty attracts people. They get close to it. They start reading the text. They understand veganism better. It's not only in your food. It relates to other elements in your lifestyle. And they start questioning the glue, the sanding paper, the gloves, their shoes, you know?
But I feel like in all of these objects that we surround ourselves with, there's so many different materials.
There are.
Right? So it's also about like learning how to see like what it actually takes to do this, right? I mean, we're
Go
not
in
sitting
depth. Yeah, go deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, the society today is so flat, you know? People just, they come, they look, they post on Instagram, that's enough, you know?
But like if you were to buy this chair, you wouldn't get a full ingredients list. Whereas with a piece of food,
I don't buy chairs.
No, but
Yes.
I mean, just thinking like, how can we as a society like learn what is actually in here?
Yeah, just the way I did it. Same. Just start reading. Okay? There is so much information out there. People can get knowledge in a second. You hold an iPhone in your hand and you have all the word spread around, you know? Just start educating yourself. Very, very simple.
But there are various tools. I mean, I'm thinking like on every piece of food there's an ingredients list on the back.
Yes.
And that is a way that you can learn about something very specific about the thing you're about to eat. Do you see a value, or would you want there to be something similar, like a detailed ingredients list to every single piece of design that's made?
No, I will just ask all the designers to turn vegan and start producing vegan design. And yes, instead of using animals as a mediator into their fantasies of creating a specific object or a scenario. Why to use, how can I say that it's not gonna sound extreme, because anyway, I'm being labeled as extreme. I'll just say that you should think about the materials that you use and really go deeper and deeper before you hold something or put a vegan tag on it as well. This is something that is very important.
But it also could come from a consumer's point of view as well, right? Because if it's kind of the nice thing about these ingredients lists, right? Is you are in control of like what you buy, right? And so in the same way that you're saying, if we all became vegan, the footprint, our carbon footprint or our ecological footprint would decrease so much. There's a similar power, around design, and around consumers. So I don't know. I'm curious about this list, because I don't know what's in this. And sure, I can think further and to be like, oh, there's probably some glue and there's some finishing, but I mean, like you said at the beginning that sandpaper is not vegan. Like I would have never, even if I did think about it, I would not have thought about it. Right?
That's why the research that I'm doing, I think that it's quite important. I think we managed to educate many people managed to see look at my objects or read the text or my essays that are spread around and really make them think about these kind of things. But I want to see more people doing this, more people practicing this, but not only practicing this to get to use a hot topic or get another article published. This is something that should have more essence, you know, something that should be like embedded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Embedded.
Yes, deeper, you know.
Yeah, but it's about education in a certain sense.
Everything
right?
is about education. I was a meat eater 6 years ago. I used to fly to Eindhoven with 30 kg of meat in my luggage. Of course, I wasn't educated before. Yes, but
Well,
it's
so
a
then
choice.
What was it that had you switch?
My boyfriend, he turned vegan.
Okay.
And yeah, he just exposed me to one video.
Mm.
That was more than enough for me to understand that there are feelings on the other side.
Mm.
And that was more than enough for me to make a super quick change from a carnist to someone that is completely vegan, 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In every
Yes.
material. And,
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, it's a very big challenge, right? Of like,
It
how
is.
do you get people to think, right? And you know, I don't know. Like, are you planning on creating anything like a catalog of like animal products that are used in design or anything?
You have the Pig book by a Dutch designer, Christian, forgot her last name, that is exhibiting all the materials that are taken from one pig and where they are assimilated. Of course, we would like to see more. I cannot call this a book, I would say more it's a catalog because it doesn't take any stand. But I'd love to see more catalogs like this coming out, yes.
Yeah, because I think because so much of this is very unexpected, right?
Definitely.
Like we don't even know to think. We don't know
Yes.
how to see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I mean, how do you feel like when you sit on something or when you is not vegan that kind of violates these principles of yours?
Yes, I'm conscious about it. I fly. I sit on non-vegan materials. But they are not in my private environment. You know, this is something that when I turned vegan, I was like I felt very uncomfortable with this. But the passage of time, we're doing activism in a way that is really changing the world. We really see so many industries that are accepting the vegan culture and started to change, either started to produce vegan products or changing materials that are not vegan inside. The thinking of the industry we start to see a real shift, but it's not as quick as I would love it to be, but it's a transition point, and a transition point sometimes takes some time. Yeah. So to get back to the question, of course I rather sit on a chair that is made by pineapple leather, okay? Leather, we cannot call it leather, but the pineapple material that looks like leather rather than on a sofa made from a dead cow skin, you know? Definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
But I can say that when I'm writing my PhD research, I'm writing it on a vegan paper that I produced by myself. And I'm sitting on a vegan chair that I produced by myself. And I'm writing with a vegan pen that I produced by myself. And on a vegan table that I produced by myself. So the studio is sterilized, let's say.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then in that there's also kind of a culture of self-sufficiency.
Yes, which I love. Yes.
Yeah.
And I really want to see more people doing this, you know? Yeah, then you're more aware of every single object, product, material, waste that coming in and coming out, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I can't help but think, like, you know, you're talking about this as a movement that is changing industries.
It's definitely a movement, and it's a revolution that is bigger than any other revolution that we experience.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm very curious, like, what, let's say it succeeds, and in 100 years, no one eats meat anymore.
The future is vegan. It's definitely vegan, and animal farming belongs to the past. It's already happened, you know.
I mean,
in vitro meat, cultured meat, clean meat that is being grown in labs is coming. It's really here. It's not coming. It's here. People start to consume it. So
there are a lot of animals though that are out there, and they take a lot of resources to keep alive.
Yes. So let's stop breeding them, kidnapping them, raping them, and then slaughtering them just to have a nice meal or a beautiful sofa.
Yeah. Okay.
So are you turning vegan?
I'm doing a vegan month right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. And how do you feel?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Good. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm much more energetic.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Soon you're going to feel it more, less hours of sleep, which is good because you're more energetic, your skin, your teeth, your breath, everything. Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean it's been a really interesting experiment, and I mean I've lived vegetarian for a few years, so it's not that big of a shift for me.
Perfect. Continue, please.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I will. Okay. Well, hey, thank you.
Thank you very much
you so
for
much.
this stage, and go vegan.
Yeah. Thank you.